Yeah, I'm sweating already. This is great. Beans! You want me in the video? Say hi. My name is Woo Bean. Say hi. See, I'm a mini golden doodle. Okay, you can go. Guys, I cannot tell you how excited I am to be back. I feel like I haven't made a video in forever, but it has been about 4 months since I last posted a video. There's been a lot going on, okay? I have a lot going on in my life, but it's all good things. It's just very overwhelming, and I've been very busy. Honestly, I've also just been trying to figure out like what I'm meant to do with my life, and that's just like a whole nother topic. But just to start from scratch, hi, hello, my name is Kanessa Carey. Welcome to my channel. If you are coming back to my channel and you've watched previously, thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. And if this is your first time here, hello, thank you for being here. I just really appreciate it, and I don't know why I'm just smiling like this. I'm just like awkward. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about a topic that has to do with mental health, kind of in the eating disorder realm. So just a quick backstory, I have not made or posted this video yet, but it actually is in the works, and I'm really excited about it because I have some big visions for it. But I'm going to be sharing my eating disorder story probably within the next couple months. That is actually a video that will explain all of this a lot more. It is very vulnerable, very raw, but I want other people to know like there is hope and you can be on the other side of it like I am right now. So that is another video that I have in the works, and that will explain a lot more. Today I'm going to be talking about what else I gained when I gained weight during my eating disorder recovery. The part of my recovery where I gained weight actually happened a long time ago, quite a few years ago actually, probably, let's see, quick math. I'm not in school anymore, so I don't do math, but like 5 years ago. Oh my gosh, that is a long time. Yeah, so it's been about 5 years since I was in, maybe even more than that, 5 or 6 years since I was in kind of like the gaining weight phase of recovering from my eating disorder, which was a very tough time, but I will explain more about that when I talk about my eating disorder story in one of the next few videos that you will see. So besides just gaining the physical weight that was needed for me to get my period back, for me to just feel good, to not have the side effects of being underweight, and to be strong and to be healthy, and for my heart to work well, and for my body to not be so worn down that it was shutting down, I needed to gain physical weight in order to have a healthy body. So that was just one of the main goals of my recovery, was to first and foremost get healthy physically before I could get healthy mentally. And obviously that was something that I worked on at the same time, but physical health was more imperative for me than anything else at that moment. But so many more things happened when I gained weight than just me gaining physical weight, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. So to be honest, there are so many things that I gained besides weight when I started recovering from my eating disorder, but I'm just going to kind of quickly talk about 3 main things that are really important to me, something that I know that I lost when I was struggling with my eating disorder and that I gained back during recovery. First thing that I gained when I started recovering from my eating disorder was my mental health. Being so malnourished and being so consumed with just all the thoughts that consumed me, I gained the ability to talk back to my eating disorder, and I had the option to listen to my eating disorder or not, because when I was in the depths of my eating disorder, I didn't know that there was another way. I thought I was going to be like that forever. I was going to struggle with it forever. I thought that I would have those thoughts forever and that I would never be able to not act upon those thoughts. I lived without appropriate fuel for my body for so long that the second I started to give my body what it needed, I had mental clarity that I didn't realize I had lost because I wasn't eating. And in doing so, I gained part of my mental health back because I was able to better understand and recognize, oh, that was my eating disorder voice, or oh, my eating disorder is telling me to do this, but that's not something that I really need to do. As I started gaining weight, I started gaining mental clarity, and that was something that was so important because without eating and without gaining weight, my mind would stay malnourished. because just as my body was malnourished, my mind was malnourished, it was lacking nutrients. It was the same way that like I couldn't live the life that I wanted to live, and I couldn't function the way that I wanted to function, whether that was my physical health or my mental health, because I was not fueling my body properly. And that was a really important realization for me, because I made the connection in how fueling my body and eating food, or the lack of doing so, affected my mental health. The second thing, when you are hungry or you are not feeding your body, you lack motivation and you lack the ability to do things that you once loved and things that you enjoy. That completely depletes and completely diminishes, because your body and your brain are so concerned with one thing, and that is getting food. And if you're not going to give that to your body, then your body is not going to be motivated to do anything else. And that's just like a common survival mechanism, but it's not something that really clicks in your mind until you start fueling your body the way that you're supposed to if you are struggling with an eating disorder. Because I wasn't eating, I wasn't motivated to pursue the passions that I had. I wasn't motivated to perform well in the sports that I played. I wasn't motivated to have relationships. I wasn't motivated to literally do anything. I wasn't motivated to live. That is such a like sad realization. But once I started fueling myself, and once I started eating what I needed to eat in order to recover and in order to gain weight, I gained more than just weight. I gained motivation to live my life. Sometimes when you talk about these things out loud, they just become more real, and you're kind of just like, wow, I guess I'm just like so grateful that I'm not in that place anymore, because I just am. Like, I don't know, like I see myself then and I see myself now, and I'm literally not the same person, and I'm just so grateful for that. Tangent aside, let's move on to the third thing that I gained when I gained weight in my eating disorder. And I think this is actually probably my favorite, just because it's something that's really important to me. The third thing that I gained was my relationships. In high school, if you're from my high school watching this and you went to school with me, that's embarrassing, one. And two, I am a different person. Let's just put that out there. But I didn't have relationships with really anyone in high school. I lost all the relationships that I had in high school. Aside from my high school relationships with friends and whatnot, I lost a lot of my connections with family. I struggled with having a relationship with my parents. I didn't have much of a relationship with my brothers, just because I isolated myself so much, always in my head, and I was always more consumed with my eating disorder that I didn't have time, and I didn't really care to work on those relationships with the people around me. And that is something that I really regretted for a really long time, and something that was really hard for me to admit. But now that I'm where I am today, like, I have the best relationship with my brothers, I have the best relationship with my parents, and I have probably the best friend group that I've ever had. There's just so many people in my life that like I wouldn't be able to have a true, genuine relationship with if it wasn't for recovery, and if it wasn't for gaining weight and gaining my relationships back. I think losing relationships during my eating disorder made me a lot more thankful for them now, and a lot more appreciative of the people in my life now. And I'm just thankful that I went through the process of having to gain weight and lose my eating disorder in order to gain relationships, because ultimately, like, the relationships and the people that I have in my life are way more important. And I wish I could just keep going, because there are so many things that I gained when I gave up my eating disorder and I started recovering from my eating disorder, but I just don't have enough time. And if I want to keep this video short and sweet, I'm just gonna stick with those three. But the three things that I gained when I gained weight to recover from my eating disorder were my mental health, my motivation, just to live life and to just do life and to just love life, and my relationships. And I think those are three really important things that we can lose sight of when struggling with an eating disorder or struggling with mental health. But I'm here to tell you that the second you put yourself first and you stop giving in to your eating disorder is the moment that you will start to experience freedom. And ultimately, that's what all of these things are. Like, I'm free to be who I want to be, and to experience the things that I want to experience, and to pursue the relationships that I want to pursue, and to be myself. Like I said, like, I've gained so much more than just these three things in gaining weight. And like, the weight that I had to gain for my eating disorder, like, didn't even matter. anymore, and it doesn't even matter anymore. And I want people out there who either like are still in their eating disorder actively, or they are actively fighting their eating disorder and going through recovery. I just want you to know that there's so many more things that are so much better on the other side of your eating disorder. And I promise you that, because my life is so much better, so much more fulfilling, so much more enjoyable, because I'm not giving into my eating disorder. I'm not giving into the thoughts, and I'm not giving into the habits, and I'm not giving into things that like didn't bring me any joy and didn't bring me life. And so I just want people to know that like if you are struggling with an eating disorder right now, I know how scary it is to even just like think about gaining weight and relinquishing that control. Ultimately, like that control that you feel and that you think that you have right now doesn't matter once you're on the other side of it. I know how hard it is to take that step and move towards gaining weight. Like I know how hard that is. And I'm sorry that if that is you and that you are struggling with that or having to deal with that, but just know and just please just like trust me that like life is so much better once you have gained that weight. And is it always going to be easy? No, not at all. I remember the first few months of me gaining weight from my eating disorder and how hard it is. And I'm not going to lie to you, it is hard. It is mentally, physically, emotionally draining. But years from now, you will be thanking yourself because you will be living the life that you want to live. The things that I have gained and the things that you will gain and recover are so much more important. And I hope this video gives you that hope and gives you that knowledge to speak back against your eating disorder when it tells you that your life is better now because you're smaller, or because you'll get smaller, or because you eat less, or because you feel a certain way. Like, no, like life is so much better on the other side of your eating disorder. And I just want people to know that, and I want people to know that you gain so much more than just weight when you recover from your eating disorder. And I don't really know how to end this video. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that's why I just keep talking. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you are struggling with an eating disorder, I encourage you to reach out. I will post in the description below some links, some resources that you can check out. There's people that want to help you. There's hope, and I just hope that you guys know that. If you have watched this whole video, I thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for my other videos coming out that I'm really excited about and that I'm putting a lot of effort into. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.